Willow God, known as Liu Shen, is often seen as a beacon of guidance and selfless devotion in perfect world. But beneath this sacred image lies a story steeped in suffering, sacrifice, and relentless resurrection. Her life has been even more tragic than that of Emperor Huang Tian. She died not once, but 5 separate times, each death marked by unimaginable hardship, and each resurrection a silent vow to carry the world forward for the sake of her disciple, Shi Hao. The first death came at the hands of the heavens themselves, a punishment from above, in the form of the Immortal-Slaying Guillotine. Countless years ago, Willow God was merely a seed, wrapped in the softness of willow catkins. By chance, she drifted to a dry and barren land. On the brink of death, the skies offered a faint mercy, light rain and mist. From that faint glimmer of hope, she erupted into life, taking root and beginning her growth. With her natural talent, she soon rose beyond anything the land had seen. She grew rapidly, towering into the heavens, defying the limits set by the world's laws. But growth beyond nature's design always brings consequences. A thunderous heavenly calamity struck. Her massive body was reduced to ash by divine lightning, leaving behind only a single broken root with a flicker of vitality. But even the heavens couldn't smother her will. After countless years of slumber, she once again broke through from the root, sprouting anew. Her resilience had only strengthened. The thunder tribulations that once threatened to end her were now little more than a tool. A brutal baptism she endured again and again, treating them as a tempering process. But the heavens saw this defiance as blasphemy. In retaliation, they sent down the Immortal-Slaying Guillotine. This was no ordinary heavenly punishment. It was the blade reserved for eternal geniuses, those who dared to defy the path set by the heavens. Not even immortal realm beings could survive its strike, and Willow God too fell beneath it. Yet even in defeat, she found rebirth. From nirvana, she rose once more. Soon after, she discovered the sacrificial path and became the ancestral spirit of the primitive ancient world. Her second chapter had begun, but tragedy would follow again. Her second death came at the hands of 2 powerful immortal kings. In the ancient immortal era, Willow God had become a supreme figure in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. But with power came duty. She witnessed firsthand the horrors of the dark turmoil spreading across realms. As ancestral spirit, she bore the responsibility of safeguarding her people. Again and again, she ventured to the sea boundary, searching for a way to contain the looming darkness. It was during these ventures that she rescued the soul of the 5-colored bird from the Sea of Boundary. But salvation would not come easy. A great war broke out. The foreign lands launched a full invasion of the 9 heavens and 10 earths to seize the key to the ancient artifact of origin. Willow God, armed with an invincible Tao, rose as a defender. She charged into the foreign domain alone 9 times, and each time returned, making enemies tremble at the mere mention of her name. But such heroism came with a price. She sustained grievous injuries and was forced to retreat to Emperor's Pass to heal. Later, she once again explored the Sea of Boundaries in search of the source of the darkness. But an incomprehensible anomaly forced her to retreat through an emergency passage. The strangeness she encountered had left its mark, injuries that would take ages to heal. Before she could recover, her past came back to haunt her. Immortal King Liu Shen and Immortal King Yuan Shi, once defeated by her, seized the opportunity. They surrounded her. Their combined might was devastating. Billions of lightning strikes rained down. Willow God's true form was obliterated. Death claimed her again. But she was not gone. In desperation, she transformed into a seed and descended to the underworld, taking the place of the sacrificial spirit of Stone Village. Even in this new life, she bore scars, regrowing only as a charred, dead tree. Years later, with Shi Hao's help and the divine remnants of Stone Village, her stump blossomed once more. Thousands of willow branches emerged. Her power at the 7th level returned. But peace never lasts long. Her third death came when she faced Yu Emperor. After battles among the titans of the lower world, Willow God passed through the primordial gate, returning to the Sea of Realm. Within 10 years, she reached the realm of immortals again. Her protective will endured. She even left behind part of herself in the thunder abyss of the damn world to guard Shi Hao. Willow God, now carrying all her power across lifetimes, transcended limits and reached a terrifying realm. She deduced that the source of darkness lay beyond the sea boundary. Crossing it would take eons. She chose a path no one else dared, sacrificing her body to give rise to a new soul, meant to guide an ancient temple. Guided by fate, her true spirit entered the ultimate ancient land. There she confronted 3 dark quasi-immortal emperors. The result was devastating. Overpowered, Willow God was destroyed again, her soul left broken and scattered. For 2 million years she remained in fragments until Shi Hao, now a quasi-immortal emperor himself, entered the dark domain. Facing the 3 ancient dark emperors, Shi Hao was nearly killed. But just as his end seemed certain, Willow God in the small tower, reborn from the Tao fruit of the footprint land, returned at quasi-immortal emperor level. Willow God and the small pagoda jointly fought Yu Emperor. At first they held the upper hand, but once Yu Emperor unleashed his wrath, countless immortal feathers flew, each capable of destroying a world. Willow God was gravely injured, yet she refused to retreat. To protect her disciple, she chose self-immolation. She burned everything, her soul, her essence, hoping to take Yu Emperor with her. Though she failed to destroy him completely, she weakened him greatly. With her sacrifice, Shi Hao finally suppressed the dark turmoil across all worlds. Afterward, when Shi Hao became an immortal emperor, he used heavenly essence to revive her once more. But Willow God's trials were far from over. Her 4th death came during Shi Hao's most dangerous war. After returning to the heavens, Shi Hao discovered a way to resurrect the dead, but he also encountered the origin of darkness, the strange clan. To stop their corruption from spreading, Shi Hao began a long campaign of conquest. Willow God, newly reborn, followed her disciple. Years of combat against the strangeness awakened her true potential. She ascended to the realm of Immortal Emperor. But darkness stirred again. 3 terrifying beings, weird ancestors, emerged from the Ertu Plateau. Their goal, annihilate Shi Hao. Backed by infinite resurrection, they posed a near-impossible challenge. Shi Hao was forced to battle them on the plateau, again and again, protecting the soldiers of the heavens. At his most vulnerable, death loomed. In that moment, Willow God came. Carrying Shi Hao on her back, she escaped the battlefield. But a deadly shot pierced her skull. Her essence scattered. Her body began collapsing under the influence of strange laws. Still, she did not falter. She endured, carried Shi Hao to the teleportation array, and ensured his safety. Only when he had escaped did she collapse. Willow God accepted death again, peacefully, quietly, without regret. Shi Hao, witnessing this, was devastated. It was the only time the Desolate Heaven Emperor cried. Though his strength eventually surpassed the weird ancestors, even he could not fully reverse the strange laws of the plateau. He could only use thunder vitality to half-resurrect her, bringing her back just enough for one last fight. Her 5th and final death came in the last war, when she died with the Dark Immortal Emperor. Though she could have fully recovered with time, fate did not grant her rest. The weird ancestors had seen through Shi Hao and Ye Fan's plans and launched a total war. The worlds fell to ruin. All spirits fell silent. Only Willow God's broken body remained. Knowing she could offer little support, she still chose to stand beside her disciple. She had no grand techniques, no dazzling spells, only one resolve: to give her life to kill the enemy. In a final blazing moment, she transformed into a terrifying rainbow, drawing power from the law pool and the wild sword's murderous aura. With this, she charged. She struck like judgment itself, obliterating a Dark Immortal Emperor who had defied death countless times. In the end, she vanished from the battlefield, a flash of light that carried lifetimes of sacrifice. Willow God died 5 times. Each death was an offering. Each rebirth was a prayer. And every moment of pain, she endured for one reason: to lift her disciple higher until he could touch the heavens themselves. And so, the story of Willow God is not one of tragedy, but of transcendence. She fell 5 times, yet rose again, each time stronger, each time more resolute. Not for glory, not for herself, but for Shi Hao and for all living beings across the 9 heavens and 10 earths. In a world of immortal emperors and ancient darkness, she stood alone, again and again, when others could not. Her legacy isn't written in titles or fame, but in sacrifice, in devotion, and in the unshakable will to protect. If Shi Hao is the blade that pierced through despair, then Willow God is the unseen hand that sharpened that blade, again and again, with her own soul. This is not just the tale of an immortal. This is the legend of the one who gave everything and asked for nothing in return. Thanks for watching. If you felt the weight of Willow God's journey, leave a like, subscribe, and share this story with others who walk the path of cultivation. Until next time, stay relentless, stay rising.